Some people do not look depressed. They still go outside, still reply to messages, still laugh at the right moments. And that is what makes silent depression so dangerous. Because when pain becomes quiet, people stop noticing it. Sometimes even the person feeling it does. You wake up tired, not physically, just emotionally exhausted in a way sleep cannot fix. And after a while, you stop trying to explain it. Because every time you say, something feels wrong, someone answers with, you just need rest. Everyone feels stressed. You'll be okay. So, eventually, you learn how to suffer without talking about it. And maybe that is the worst part. Not the sadness itself, but realizing how easy it is for someone to disappear emotionally, while everybody around them believes they are completely fine. Silent depression rarely arrives all at once. It happens slowly, almost quietly enough to ignore. At first, it just feels like emotional tiredness. You stop enjoying small things. Music feels distant. Conversations feel draining. Even replying to people starts feeling like work. But because nothing dramatic happened, you convince yourself it is not serious. So, you keep functioning. You continue smiling in photos, continue showing up, continue acting normal enough that nobody asks questions. And over time, pretending becomes automatic. You start saying, "I'm fine," before you even think about whether it is true. Not because you want to lie, but because explaining what you feel has become exhausting, especially when you do not fully understand it yourself, and slowly, you become emotionally invisible, not to other people, to yourself. The strange thing about silent depression is that many people suffering from it do not look broken. They look responsible, calm, independent. They become good at hiding pain because they had to. Some learned early that emotions make people uncomfortable. So instead of asking for help, they became easier to handle. They stopped complaining, stopped expecting emotional support, stopped believing anyone would really notice. And eventually, their sadness became internal background noise. Late at night, though, it gets harder to hide from yourself. That is when the overthinking starts. You stare at the ceiling longer than usual, replay conversations in your head, wonder why everything feels emotionally distant lately. Not terrible, just empty. And maybe the hardest part is this. People only notice loud pain. Nobody notices the person quietly losing connection with life one day at a time. After a while, something changes emotionally. You stop wanting people to understand you, because deep down, you are afraid they will not. So instead of opening up, you become quieter. You type messages, then delete them. You almost explain yourself, then decide not to. Not because the pain disappeared, because vulnerability starts feeling unsafe. And sometimes silent depression creates a strange contradiction. You want someone to notice, but you also fear being seen too clearly. Because if somebody finally asks, "Are you really okay?" you might not know how to answer honestly anymore. You spent so long surviving emotionally that now you do not know how to explain what is hurting you. Only that something inside you feels tired all the time. The scary thing about emotional numbness is how normal it starts to feel. You still wake up, still finish responsibilities, still continue daily life. But emotionally, it feels like you are no longer fully inside it. Days begin blending together. You stop feeling excited about the future. Not because you gave up completely, just because hope started feeling unfamiliar. And nobody notices this part. Nobody sees the quiet exhaustion, the emotional emptiness. The way some people sit alone at night wondering, when did I stop feeling like myself? Sometimes people with silent depression are not asking for attention. They just want someone to notice that they are struggling before they completely shut down emotionally. But most people only recognize pain when it becomes impossible to hide. and silent depression survives in hidden places. Maybe the problem was never that you were weak. Maybe you were emotionally overwhelmed for too long without support. There is a difference. People who carry silent pain often become highly functional, not because they are okay, because survival forced them to adapt, and eventually, they become so used to carrying emotional weight quietly that asking for help feels unnatural. But emotional numbness is not always strength. Sometimes it is exhaustion that lasted too long. Sometimes the mind disconnects emotionally because feeling everything became too heavy. And maybe hearing that changes something. Maybe for the first time, you stop judging yourself for being tired all the time. A lot of people believe depression always looks obvious, but sometimes it looks like constant distraction, emotional distance, quiet isolation, or someone slowly losing interest in life without understanding why. And the painful part is, many people become experts at hiding it. They know how to smile at the right moments, how to sound normal enough, how to disappear emotionally without worrying anyone, until one day they realize they have been surviving for so long. They forgot what feeling alive emotionally used to feel like. And maybe that realization hurts more than anything else. Not because the pain suddenly appeared, because it was there the entire time, hidden beneath routine, silence, and pretending to be okay. Some people are carrying battles nobody notices, not because they are dramatic, not because they want sympathy, but because they learned how to stay silent about pain that never fully left them. And honestly, that kind of loneliness changes people quietly. So if someone around you suddenly feels distant, emotionally tired, or strangely disconnected from everything, there is a chance they are fighting something internally they do not know how to explain. And maybe the worst part of silent depression is this: a person can be emotionally falling apart in complete silence, while the entire world continues treating them like they are perfectly fine.